Chapter 1. A Normal Day. Tim was a boy of about 10 years old, living in a small village called Greenfield. The village was peaceful, surrounded by hills and forests, with a small river that flowed gently past the edge of the town. Tim lived with his parents in a little cottage at the end of a long dirt road. He was an adventurous boy, always curious about the world around him. Every morning, Tim would wake up early, eat a quick breakfast, and run outside to play. He loved exploring the forest near his home, finding new paths and hidden places. The trees in the forest were tall and strong, with leaves that whispered secrets to the wind. Tim often pretended that he was a great explorer, searching for lost treasures or discovering new lands. One bright and sunny day, Tim decided to venture deeper into the forest than he had ever gone before. He packed a small bag with some bread, cheese, and an apple, just in case he got hungry. His mother always told him to be careful, but Tim was confident in his abilities. He said goodbye to his mother and set off on his adventure. The forest was cool and shady, and Tim enjoyed the sound of birds singing and the rustling of leaves under his feet. He walked for a long time, following a narrow path that twisted and turned through the trees. The deeper he went, the quieter the forest became, until all he could hear was his own footsteps. Tim was not afraid. He loved the feeling of being alone in the woods, surrounded by nature. He felt like he was the only person in the world, free to explore and discover new things. After walking for what felt like hours, Tim noticed something strange. There was a light up ahead, glowing softly through the trees. It was not the sun, for the light was too dim and gentle. Curious, Tim walked towards the light, wondering what it could be. As he got closer, he saw that the light was coming from a tree. But this was no ordinary tree. It was much larger than any tree Tim had ever seen, with thick branches that stretched out in all directions. The bark of the tree was smooth and silver, and the leaves glowed with a soft, green light. Tim stared in amazement. He had never seen a tree like this before. It seemed almost magical, as if it had come from another world. He reached out and touched the bark. It was warm and pulsed with energy, like a heartbeat. Suddenly, Tim heard a voice. It was soft and gentle, like the rustling of leaves in the wind. "Hello, Tim," the voice said. Tim jumped back, startled. He looked around, but there was no one else in the forest. The voice seemed to be coming from the tree itself. "Who are you?" Tim asked, his heart pounding. "I am the magic tree," the voice replied. "I have been watching you, Tim. You are a brave and kind boy, and I have chosen you for a special task." Tim could hardly believe his ears. A talking tree. It sounded like something out of a fairy tale. But the tree's voice was calm and soothing, and Tim felt a strange sense of trust. "What kind of task?" Tim asked, curious. "I have the power to grant one wish," the tree said. "But you must be careful. Magic is powerful, and wishes can sometimes bring unexpected results." Tim's eyes widened. A wish. He could hardly believe it. He thought about all the things he could wish for. Maybe he could wish for a big adventure, or a treasure chest full of gold, or even to become a great hero. The possibilities were endless. But then Tim remembered something. The village where he lived had been having a hard time lately. There had been no rain for weeks, and the crops were starting to dry up. The villagers were worried about the drought, and Tim's parents had been talking about it every day. Tim thought for a moment. He loved his village and wanted to help. If he could make a wish, maybe he could do something to help everyone. "I know what I want to wish for," Tim said finally. "I want to wish for rain, so that the village can have water for the crops and the river can flow again." The tree was silent for a moment, and then it spoke. "That is a kind and noble wish, Tim. But remember, magic can be tricky. Are you sure this is what you want?" Tim nodded. He was sure. The village needed rain, and he wanted to help. "Very well," the tree said. "I will grant your wish." Tim felt a warm breeze pass through the forest, and the leaves of the tree rustled softly. The light from the tree grew brighter for a moment, and then it dimmed. "Your wish is granted," the tree said. "But be careful, Tim. Sometimes, things do not turn out as we expect." Tim thanked the tree and started to walk back home. He was excited and a little nervous. He hoped the rain would come soon and that the village would be saved. As he walked through the forest, Tim noticed that the sky was beginning to darken. Clouds were gathering, and the air felt heavy and damp. It looked like a storm was coming. Tim hurried back to the village, eager to see what would happen. He hoped he had made the right decision.